The fatigue is so real. All right, we're gonna get a little bit controversial in this one, but unfortunately, we have to. It's very important. This is the mayor of Chicago. He is retarded. It's not easy to be retarded, but he manages to make it work. With a little bit of voter fraud, he managed to become the, okay, I'm not gonna make any allegations like that, but I don't know how this dude ended up in office. The breaking news is, not only is he more retarded than ever, but breaking news, gentlemen and female gentlemen, this dude decided to pop out, and he got so woke, he bashed Trump, and at the same time, he admitted he destroyed Chicago. Now, here's the thing, when the mayor admits they destroy Chicago, that's when they should literally leave. That is asylum level, okay? That is asylum level. He admitted he destroyed Chicago with woke bullshit, and he's warring with Trump. Lock in, boys and girls. We got a glorious retard deep dive for today. All right, so you will recognize him by his beautiful expression where he acknowledges the fact that Trump is the superior person.
Okay, fine. Since you are
Bro, what?
begging, I do believe that Donald Trump is intimidated. I think.
Okay, no interruption.
So let me just answer that. I do appreciate you begging. So I will just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. And
I'm gonna be real. I don't think Trump is intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. Now, this is just me. This is just my opinion. This is not a serious person. Okay, when I told you that we were dealing with a retard, I meant it. I meant it. Not even exaggerating. This is crazy.
so, of course, he would speak in those petite and puerile terms because, okay, fine, since you are begging.
One more time. One more
I do
time.
believe that Donald Trump is intimidated. I think.
Okay, no interruption.
So let me just answer that. I do appreciate you begging. So I will just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. And so, of course, he would speak in those petite and puerile terms.
I think this clip is just so perfect because, like, what an unbelievable retard. Like, special levels of retarded. Yeah, Trump is absolutely terrified of the intellectual prowess of black men. And he runs his life trying his absolute best. But now, you probably think that this is a one-off clip. It's not. It's not a one-off clip. This is the new thing that they say when they realize that they are inferior intellectually. All right, these are retards. All right, these are retards trying to turn everything into a race issue. This is Jasmine Crockett, who is losing her seat in Texas because the way they're redistributing the districts is funny as fuck. I already made a video on that. You could definitely look at that. It's a very, very funny fucking video. The one with Jasmine Crockett losing her seat. But this is what she had to say today.
It is funny because when people think about black women, they think about our strength. They think about how, usually we're juggling so much and we're doing so much and we're still going to school and we're doing all the things. And part of it is unfair because at the end of the day, we are still but humans. But because...
Insane cope. Insane levels of cope. All right. So you have to realize what's going on. From the perspective of Jasmine Crockett, everyone's racist. They all hate black people. All the white people are all automatically racist. But also, it's because white people are secretly jealous of races. All the butt humans out there walking around, walking butts, the butt humans, they wander around and they think to themselves, damn, black women, if only I was as hard of a worker as the average black woman. That's what everyone thinks about. Now, I am not going to make any statements that will get me canceled. But when I think about unemployed women, there are a lot of them. There are a lot of them, is what I'm trying to say. Also, not trying to get racist or anything over here. not trying to get racist or anything. But living on Social Security is not actually the sign of a hardworking person. I'm not trying to get canceled. I just have to. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be that guy. I'm just gonna be that guy. All right, I can't believe the Jews would do this, is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, this is the new movement. This is the new bullshit that everyone's pushing. All the butt humans are trying their absolute best.
Butt humans.
Right, the butt humans are trying their best to get a little bit racist over here. When you think of black women, you think of strength, right? And Trump is intimidated by the mayor of Chicago because he's just intimidated by black men. Y'all are coping like crazy. When I think of black people, I think of people just like I think of any other people, okay? Y'all are the racists, okay? Y'all are crazy people. But anyway, Mr. Mayor of Chicago over here has been having a generational run lately. You don't understand how generational this run is. This is a clip of him committing, in my opinion, treason, and in my opinion should get him locked up in jail.
And division. Look, we are a welcoming city ordinance. Our local police department will not ever cooperate with ICE.
So in my opinion, that's treason. He should go to jail. That's just my opinion. Sorry, don't mean to be rude here, but I think absolutely you should lose your position as the mayor if you're not willing to work with ICE. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Shout out to this motherfucking retard.
Whatever their constitutional authority is.
You mean the constitutional authority of the country that you're living in? So I don't know. I think this is really sedition. It really is. This is crazy. So anyway, this dude is hyper woke. All right. I think Chicago, defund Chicago. True. Arrest. Yes. Arrest Brandon Johnson. He's committing treason. I agree. How could you not work with ICE? Dude, there are laws. Okay. The people elected Trump. Trump had the authority to activate ICE. If someone is illegal in the country, get them the fuck out. I don't care about your woke bullshit propaganda. You are a utter retard and an enemy of the American people. I'm not calling for public execution because honestly, that would be over way too fast. All right, that's too dark. I don't actually hate the guy or anything. I just think he's retarded. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about Chicago because listen, he's the mayor of Chicago. Maybe Chicago is doing super well. Well, here is what ICE actually did do in Chicago recently.
Breaking news. Federal agents arrest 2 men for a mass shooting in Chicago. One of those arrests happening on the East Coast.
Our Suzanne Lomagno joins us now live from the newsroom with the breaking details. Suzanne?
Joe, Erica, it was a crime that shocked the Chicago Lawn neighborhood. Gunfire killed 3 people and injured 5 others at a birthday party inside a house there. Now, 5 months later, immigration authorities say they captured 2 gunmen. Red crime tape and blue police lights take over a normally quiet residential block.
It's a devastating tragedy that happened.
The alderwoman speaking for the community as a whole at the time.
There were just people who weren't used to that in that community and were really upset.
Not used to people getting murdered in broad daylight? Wow.
By the event.
And now today, Pastor Donovan Price reacting to the news that these 2 men have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
I wonder why.
And it's good for the city. It's good for the morale of the city to see that tragedy events like this in particular can come to a close, can be solved.
Yeah, I don't think this is actually increasing the morale of literally anyone. I don't think their morale was increased. You're high. You're crazy.
On the left, Edward Martinez Cermeño picked
I wonder if Edward Martinez Cermeño is a white guy. Let me know in the comment section below.
Up in January in Schaumburg. On the right, Ricardo Granadillo Padilla.
Now the question is Ricardo Granadillo Padilla a guy that immigrated here in the 1800s from Europe? Let me know in the comment section below.
Arrested in February in North Carolina. ICE says both were shooters at the Chicago Lawn House party and
2 shooters. I mean, let's be real here. All right, no hyperbole. I wonder if they're legal in the country.
Both are Venezuelan nationals that entered the country illegally.
So these murders, and I say this with love in my heart, these murders that happened, the blood of these victims are on the hands of the Chicago motherfucking mayor that says they are not willing to cooperate with ICE. There is no reason why these people needed to be in the country. There is no reason why these youths of questionable background, white-presenting youths, needed to kill these people. And absolutely, there is no reason why we need to tolerate that. Look, every country has criminals. Obviously, there's white criminals, there's black criminals, there's Mexican criminals, there's criminals fucking everywhere, all right? Absolutely. Now, as a country, we have to deal with our criminals. There's no reason why we, as a country, have to deal with criminals in our country illegally from other places. It literally doesn't need to happen. And every single time I say this, one absolute lobotomite retard in the comment section, like, say, but not actually, according to the statistics, rapes take less place by illegal immigrants than by legal immigrants. Now, I'm just gonna say, cap, I don't believe it. But even let's say it's true. Let's say that's even true. One rape is too many rapes. One murder is too many murders. They should not be in the country at all. Why are we sacrificing our people for this? Nux, are you doing a racism? Look, if this is racism, then yes. If racism is saying that there is no reason why we should have illegal rapists running around our country killing people, yeah, then if that's racism, then A, you're a lost cause, and B, yeah, I guess so. One person illegal in the country is too many. There's a reason why a country needs laws and borders. So when I see the Chicago mayor saying there's no way we're going to cooperate with ICE, the blood of these victims are on your hand. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
ICE is also showing off this collection of weapons, ammo, and drugs seized from Granadillo Padilla's home in Chicago.
I wonder where Granadillo Padilla got the drugs. Maybe he got the drugs at the drugstore. Why are you buying clothes in the soup store? I don't know where Granadillo Padilla got the drugs. It could have been from anywhere.
Immigration officials claim these are members of the Tren de Aragua gang, encountered during the North Carolina operation that took place in February. ICE says they've arrested 16 additional gang members and people connected to the two gunmen in recent weeks.
And in this case, they were followed and it didn't work out for them. And hopefully that'll lead a message to other criminals who might have that same intent.
Yeah. You know another way to help criminals not have that same intent? To get them the fuck out of the country, man. Like, what are we doing? Now, this is not the only Chicago situation. There are many Chicago situations. So this is the Democrat representative Raja Krishnamurthy and Jonathan Jackson. We all know Jonathan Jackson. He's the retard of the hour today. So this is them trying to enter. Right, this is them protesting ICE, as they do.
BI International. I am an officer with ICE. You're an officer with ICE? With ICE. You have an ID? You see it? I don't have to show that to you. You don't have to show it.
They're like, show us your ID. Show us your information. Let us in. Help us. Let us in. And this dude's just like, bro, I work with ICE. Fuck yourself. Don't care.
I'm telling you to leave. I've already identified myself. I'm an officer with ICE. You're not allowed to be here. Police are coming. Okay? What are we doing this improper, sir?
And bam, he closes the fucking window on that. I think that's awesome. I think that's goated. Absolute goat. Just shuts the window on. Like, listen, I don't want to talk to you guys. All right, all you virtue signaling fucktards. Now, obviously, they're still doing this. Fucking, you know, spray painting Nazi on Teslas. You know, like it's woke hell. All right, Chicago is woke hell. Now, this is what Chicago's teachers union had to say.
Think your children are its children? Yes, we do. We do. CT, you think your children are its children? Yes, we do. We do.
Yeah, so they are basically saying the quiet part out loud that they think that your children are actually their children. Yeah, no, everyone's pretty fucking fatigued about this shit. No one's interested. All right, literally, people are waking up in droves. No one wants to deal with this shit. Unbelievable. No one wants this shit around. Yeah, your children are my children. Yeah, absolutely fucking not. Holy, like these people are fucking crazy people. Actual homeschool ad. This is the Democrat representative Delia Ramirez. All right, this is also in Chicago at an ICE detention facility.
Not just in Homeland Security, which is the Committee of Jurisdiction over these facilities here, but I'm also in the Oversight Subcommittee of it. And the idea that it is difficult to be able to get a response from the folks in ICE directors here. We just went and attempted to talk to someone. He was unwilling to identify himself.
Based.
It's really frightening for us.
Oh no!
We know that we have
why are you frightened? Are you an illegal immigrant? Oh no, that's not why. You're not illegal, so there's no reason for you to be frightened. Are you ready? Are you ready for what he's frightened about? Lock in, boys and girls. Pay attention to what she is about to say. She is about to admit to one of the biggest frauds in the country's history. In my opinion, also, jail for someone like this. Get ready for the craziest self-report of all time.
Constituents that are being held here. It's really frightening for us, especially because we know that we have constituents that are being held here, and we have no way of knowing the conditions of our constituents.
If illegal immigrants are your constituents, you are a criminal. There were 0 Americans deported. There were 0 legal immigrants deported. Every single person deported was illegal in the country. How dare you fucking call them your constituents? Are you admitting to election fraud on camera? Like, do you know what a constituent is? It's someone that legally should be able to vote for you. People that are illegal in the country, not even Americans, not even legal immigrants, but illegal immigrants, they should not be voting for you. With all due respect, they are not your constituents, okay? You calling them your constituents means that you're getting votes from them. You are admitting to election fraud.
Or even an opportunity to know who we're talking to here. Do you have a name of the person that's responsible and in charge here?
And they're doing all this outside the front doors of ICE. They can't get in. It's a beautiful, hilarious El Bozo moment. Why are your foreign criminal illegal aliens your constituents? Fantastic question, if I do say so myself. Now, this is the Democrat representative showing up to an ICE facility, and they don't even open the door. They just show up, and they're just standing there outside. They're trying so hard. Oh my God. It's amazing. No one even cared. No one even showed up to open the door for them. But the real reason why I wanted to do this video was actual justice warrior just made a video 3 days ago talking about how the Chicago mayor admits he destroyed the city. Lock in, boys and girls, because I am so fucking tired of these performative virtue signaling bullshits. Literally, not a single one of these retards care about their city, care about their people, or anything like that. They care about power. They all care about power. And unfortunately for them, right now, the only way to stay in power is to be anti-Trump. So they are just anti-Trump with every fiber of their being. Lock in, boys and girls. We're going to be calling retards today.
So are Chicago's finances worse than previously thought? The question was...
Great question.
So are Chicago's finances worse than previously thought? The question was raised yesterday at City Hall. So what could that mean for you?
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson has now admitted that the city's finances are completely out of whack.
No! You mean that a crime-ridden shithole city that's run by Democrat woke virtue signaling retards that are catering to illegal immigrants instead of their actual citizens is doing badly? Well, color me surprised and lubricate my butthole. Get out of here with that shit. Oh, give me a break. It's all of them. It's every time. How can it be every single time? He Trudeau'd Chicago. Oh my God. Bro's out there trying to turn Chicago into fucking England.
Budget deficit was even bigger than what was projected, and none of us should be surprised by this because when you elect a socialist candidate to the mayorship,
these socialist mayors, like, you have to understand what's going on. All right, so let me explain to you how politics. This is what we call retard politics. All right, are you ready for a retard politics lesson? All right. Do you want votes? Do you want votes? Yes. Well, offer something. Right, easy. But the question is, what if you have nothing to offer? If you have nothing to offer, what do you do then? What do you do then if you have nothing to offer? Well, just promise free shit. Wow. Promise free shit. Wow. That's the whole system. That's the whole system. You've seen the entire system. That is the 3-step process and how to become a Democrat candidate. That's it. Literally it. It's happening in New York. It's happening in Minnesota. It's happening in Minneapolis. It's happening right here. It's happening in Chicago. That's the strategy. Do you want votes? Offer something. Can't offer something? Promise free shit. And you know what? You get votes from broke people. You do. Broke people will vote for you because they need free shit. So anyway, that's that. All right. It's irrelevant. It's irrelevant if you actually give them the free shit. It's irrelevant if you don't give them the free shit. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is if you promise the free shit. All right. And then you say vague, anti-America vibes. All right, it's as easy as that. You want votes? You offer something. You can't? You promise free shit. You give some vague anti-America things. You know how Trump bad and white people bad and white people and Trump bad and white people have no culture and stuff like that. And then bam, easy. You get the votes. Right? The retards will flock to you, baby.
Somebody who doesn't care about criminality, somebody who diverts resources in order to pay for illegal migrants over citizens.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Surprisingly, that doesn't work out. Now, the flowchart, it gets even better because realistically, it's the flowchart is the money goes to the illegals instead of to the actual civilians, right? So then the actual civilians get fucked and are poor and they want jobs, but they can't get jobs. You know why? Because the jobs are being taken by illegal immigrants that you could pay less. You can pay them slave wages, bro. You don't even pay them the minimum wage. They're illegal in the country. The government doesn't know. So you give them fake bullshit low wages, all right? And everyone else doesn't get the jobs, right? Because, you know, you're filling up all the jobs with illegals that you can pay less. And then those illegals, they need to live somewhere. So, you know what? they'll rent a place to live. So the housing market has much less supply. So there's less supply, so there's more demand. So you want to get houses, you can't. Illegal immigrants live there. Welcome to facts instead of pandering. Unfortunately, it might make your day worse. But realistically, I would rather a worse day where I know the truth than a better day that when I'm literally living a fantasy lie. All right? Fuck this shit. These people are in a cycle of hell.
This is the most logical result. This is the most logical consequence. And now Brandon Johnson, in an absolute panic, is trying to figure out a way to raise taxes on the residents of the city of Chicago in order to extract more from them to try to plug this budget deficit. But in reality, there is no way forward when you pursue these kind of taxes. And this is what we're going to talk about today. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money. Okay.
Yeah, so for those of you that are unaware, this is Anna Kasparian. She's recently gone down the fucking rabbit hole. She's a leftist retard. I didn't used to call her a retard, but she's got them there. She found a way. In my opinion, she earned the title recently. She's on this whole tear about how the Jews control the government. I don't know how everyone ends up there. All the retards end up there at some point. That's how you know.
Okay.
Well, the mayor's office says they are looking for progressive revenue sources, and while those sources have yet to be identified, some groups are already expressing concern.
We have reached a point now where there's no return.
A frank admission.
No return! You mean a socialist system doesn't work? Oh my God. Color me surprised, shocked, and relatively intrigued. A socialist system fell apart. Damn, the Jewish cabal that's been running Chicago did a really bad job. Okay, I don't know, man. The Jews only control the country unless it's not convenient to admit that the Jews are controlling the country. Damn, I can't believe the Jews fucked Chicago this badly. That's crazy.
Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, a looming budget crisis could be even worse than expected without new taxes or cuts to city services.
Cuts to city services. Yeah, sure. Let's close down some hospitals so that illegal immigrants could steal your houses. Wow, what a fantastic strategy. Oh my God. This is truly a fantastic ploy. I'm really happy about this. Unbelievable. And this is why I'll always vote for the fascist Nazi party. All right? That was a joke. But yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. These fucking socialist retards are insane. More taxes. Yeah, you know who doesn't care if there's more taxes? Illegal immigrants and broke people. Broke people don't care if there's more taxes because they don't make money. They're living off taxes. So those people are thrilled. So you have to realize the entire business model of Chicago is literally preaching to the lowest common denominator of society. I can't believe the Jews would do this.
Systems that people rely upon, education, healthcare, housing, our transportation, they are woefully underfunded.
So look, the city of Chicago obviously needs to cut city services. They're spending way too much money as a government. But of course, Brandon Johnson has already signaled that he's looking for progressive ways forward, as if the lengthy Democratic control of the city isn't what got them into this mess in the first place. And it's somehow going to be a solution. Now, I will also remind you that this revelation of Chicago's budget deficit being significantly worse than previously told to us by Brandon Johnson.
I can't believe he admitted it. Like, dude straight up went on a press conference. He's like, yep, we're out of money. Everything's underfunded. Shit's bad. We're going to have to increase taxes. Yep, that's it. Anyway, I'm not going to work with ICE. Oh, great!
Should shine a light on how corrupt this individual is, because we've covered multiple different stories of Brandon Johnson trying to borrow high-interest loans against the city of Chicago's credit in order...
No fucking way.
To give his constituents, his chief funders, and a union that he is a member of, the Chicago Teachers Union, a massive pay increase into perspective. This guy knew that the numbers were this bad. He knew that the math wasn't mathing, but he pretended like everything was okay, that a high interest loan would not be that big of a deal, and this is what he was doing behind the scenes while simultaneously covering up the disastrous budget that is in the city of Chicago.
I'm wondering if any of the board members can answer this question. Actually, if all of you can, just maybe even just a show of your hands. How many of you support taking out a short-term
we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
For teachers' contracts?
If you have a question for the mayor of Chicago, you can ask me a question. What you are not going to do is litigate what the board has the authority to do once they're appointed. You can ask that once they are appointed. No.
This dude is such a baby. It's crazy. Like, he's just like, dude, can you imagine if Trump would crash out like that when a reporter asked him a question he was uncomfortable with? Like, could you imagine? Like, dude, we would be making fun of him forever. Like, yeah, and I'm sure, dude, I'm sorry, I have to bring you back to this for one moment, because this is this clip is why I decided to make this video.
Just answer that. I do appreciate you begging. So I would just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men.
Holy moly, Batman! Holy moly! Bro, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's the intellectual prowess of the black men. They are just a level above.
I'm not gonna do it. It's disrespectful. Do you have a question for me?
Okay, I'm sorry that you brought them up here, and it is a
Do you have a question for me? Ask me the question.
Okay.
Ask me if I support. I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah.
That's like the Hasan debate tactic. The reporter says, "Can I ask you a question?" Absolutely, you can ask me a question. Starts asking a question he doesn't like. How dare you ask me this question? Now let me tell you the question you should be asking me. Ask me this question instead.
Ask me the question if I believe that we should invest in our children and make sure we don't lay off brown and black women. Yes.
Wow! Wow, what a guy. The way he answers questions. So fluently, he just slices through the crowd. No one could possibly answer questions like Brandon Johnson over here. Now, to be honest, I understand why Trump is a little bit intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men. And everyone clapped. Thank you for admitting you're a racist whore. Yeah, you heard what I said, you racist bitch. Investing in the future of brown and black. What about investing in the future of men that are white or citizen or Latinos? Well, I guess he considers them brown. Like, dude, what about that? What about Asians? What about the Jews, bro? What about the Jews? Damn, I guess the Jews aren't controlling Chicago. Like, they're controlling all of America except for Chicago, it seems. Like, bro, what are we doing? Let me put words in your mouth so I can say what I want to be asked and then answer a generic virtue signal answer. Yeah!
Yes, I'm not going to tolerate cuts. That's what the issue has been in this city.
Now, Brendan Johnson had already broken a promise earlier on about not trying to raise property taxes, which is a big sticking point in the city of Chicago, when he tried to do it earlier this year, but that got voted down. Now that he has basically been obliterated by his own aldermen when it comes to property taxes, he has to find a bunch of new revenue solutions, according to him. In reality, he needs to...
Bro, dude, people need to start doing this bullshit like just the other way. Can you imagine if someone gets up and is like, you should be asking me if I'm gonna support the future of white men and white men only. Yes, I will. Like, bro, they need to fucking cook like that. I'll be real. Just like complete reverse woke and see how far it gets. I feel like that could go crazy. Like full on reverse woke would be insane.
Cut spending. That's what needs to...
Well, could you imagine, dude? You see, the problem with Brandon Johnson is, and I think this is the real reason why he doesn't like Trump, is because he's just uncomfortable when he's even referring to people that, especially because, like, he's obviously worried about the intellectual prowess of white men. White men are just too intellectually superior. All right, that's probably why, in my opinion, he's like crashing out like that because of white intelligence. Right, because secretly inside, he's a white supremacist.
Happen in order to plug this gap. But of course, when he does this, when he implements these progressive taxes, that is going to drive more and more people out of the city of Chicago, which is going to increase their need for tax revenue because you're going to have a greater deficit because they didn't cut spending, and then they're going to pursue more progressive taxes until they've basically hollowed out their entire city.
And everyone knows that.
Right now, Chicago is facing a $1.1 billion budget gap for 2026. The financial burden could be even greater because of a pension bill signed by Governor J.B. Pritzker, which has increased retirement benefits for police and firefighters. That added over $11 billion to the city's long-term pension liability.
Yes, I'm going to put forth a package that people can can assess and debate.
Now, of course, it is not just the city of Chicago. It is the Democratic governance in the state of Illinois that also creates the problem. You see, in Illinois, they essentially have a constitutional mandate that requires you to pay the pensions for government workers first. So anytime you see something signed by the governor that increase statewide benefits to these government positions, you're essentially adding in to the already stressed budgets of places like the city of Chicago in a way that they can't subvert, in a way that they can't actually answer, because if they didn't have enough money and they were already in an amazing budget deficit prior to this bill being signed, Governor Pritzker signing said bill so he could potentially run for president is going to make matters significantly worse.
Could you imagine if Pritzker runs for president? Holy fucking shit. I mean, he would lose miserably, but dude, if Pritzker becomes president, I'm leaving America. Yeah, if he becomes president, I'm out. I'm out, bro.
But again, this is a combination.
If he buys the right amount of votes, fuck, it's bad.
Of horrible Democratic governance at the statewide level, and of course, horrible Democratic governance at the local level. And it's not just Brandon Johnson, but make no mistake about it, he is making it significantly worse. The answer is to cut back on expenditures, try to lower taxes, try to get more people into the city, produce more, and that will lead to the revenue increases, because
it turns out capitalist societies make money and socialist societies lose money. It's kind of crazy how that happens, right? Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird, guys? Isn't it weird how when you just give free money to poor people, it actually does fucking destroy your economy and incentivize people to not work? Isn't it kind of funny how that happens?
In reality, Chicago is a first-rate city, at least in design. It should be drawing people there, but it is the governance of the city of Chicago that's driving people away, which is...
Of course, it's straight ass. It's violent there. They let the criminals run the streets. They don't arrest people. They release people from jails because they don't want to look racist. And they don't want to look racist, bro. There's no fatigue in Chicago.
Something that we see in many of our other liberal metropolitan areas across the country. There's a reason why Illinois, New York, California, and a bunch of other states are seeing declining populations while we see cities in the Sun Belt growing exponentially. And the reason for that is
because it's literally ran by socialist communist hogs that incentivize woke bullshit and illegal migrants instead of actual citizens.
Terrible governance at the state.
These blue states the blue cities are fucking hellholes. They're actual shitholes. Look, man, I've lived in New York for a couple of years. I've been there. I've been to all these places. Like, the blue cities are really shitholes. It's crazy, but it's true. It's expensive as fuck. You can't survive there, and like, it's unreal. It's unreal. It is unreal, bro. These like violent, criminal crimes, shootings, gang wars, like, it is an actual shithole. It's crazy that the biggest and most glorious alleged cities in America are actual shitholes. So when Trump says that he wants to activate the military and shit to take back DC, power to him. So fucking based, so unbelievably based. Absolutely, do it everywhere.
Level and at the local level, and this is the consequence of basically unbroken democratic rule for the last 70 years in the city of Chicago.
And you know what they want to do, by the way? You know what the next step is? And this is going to surprise you. It's gonna surprise you. You ready? Are you ready? They want to abolish prisons. That's the next step for these socialist commie fuck retards. They want to abolish prisons. And every time someone commits a crime, instead of putting them in jail, you know what you do? You give them money. Because maybe if they had money, they would have never committed the crime in the first place. What do you think, guys? Good solution? That's literally what Mamdani, right, the retard in New York said. He straight up admitted that. He wanted to just give people money instead of putting people in prison because it'll incentivize them to not do crimes. Are you actually retarded? Like, are you actually stupid and crazy? What do you mean? Oh my God. Let me see if I can even find that clip. Oh.
Are prisons obsolete?
Whew, coming through with the quotes, through with the titles of the books. I have to read that, actually. I haven't read that as yet. But I think that, frankly, I mean, what do they serve? Right? I think we have to ask ourselves that, which is that, you know, I think a lot of people who defend the carceral state, they defend the idea of it and the way it makes them feel.
What purpose does prison serve? Yeah, great question. Socialist fuck. That guy is, by the way, the front runner to become the mayor of New York City. Just surprise! Yeah, these people are actually trying to turn our country into a shithole. They really are. Like, look, man, I agree that the prison system is not perfect, and I would honestly abolish a lot of prisons too. That said, I would absolutely bring back public execution. It was a joke. It was a joke. Right, indentured servitude. That sounds pretty good. Public flogging. What's our thoughts on public flogging? All right, what are we talking about, dude? Oh, he raped somebody? Let's give him some money instead.
So what could be in such a package? Johnson has already ruled out a property tax increase, which many alders had promised to vote against. Other possibilities include a corporate payroll expense tax, a head tax, and even a tax on cars coming into the downtown area, patterned after New York's congestion tax.
So each and every one of these proposals is absolutely disastrous from top to bottom. So the payroll tax or the head tax is quite literally a tax on employment. You are going to charge money.
Right, you charge people that actually have jobs to give money to the people that aren't contributing to society. Do you see why this is a gigantic failure?
To employers for hiring people and not expect them to downsize in order to avoid said tax. This is probably one of the worst ideas that Democratic politicians have come up with, but of course it is in vogue. It's something that they keep proposing across the country because for whatever reason they believe that you could do absolutely anything to the business community and that will not result in a decrease in jobs. I mean,
because they don't care. They just want votes. They don't want jobs. All right, they want poor people to vote for them, okay? And they know that all the actual business people are going to be voting for Republicans because right now the party for the people is the Republicans, okay? It's a real party for the people. Right, they're the ones that want to put criminals in jail. They're the ones that want to get people tax cuts. That is literally the fucking Republican Party. The Democrat Party is the party for the criminals and the terrorists and the retards and the woke, like, losers these days, and the poor, like the broke, the ones that aren't actually working to get themselves out of society. Like, you have to understand how cooked this party is.
Think about how insane this is. These people want to tax you for hiring people, but also make it illegal for you to not pay them what they consider to be.
What if all people that were on like social programs didn't get to vote? What are our thoughts on this? Like actual societal leeches, all right? Again, if your situation made you end up like that, I'm no fault to you, but you are a leech. You are a parasite. All right, again, not saying this in the bad way, all right? But to be honest, you are. Oh my, bro, it's crazy, bro.
A living wage, and they think that that is not going to result in more unemployment. It's absurd, it's insane, and again, it's the exact opposite direction they need to go to in the city of Chicago. Now, I will also point out that Brandon Johnson spent something like $10 billion or $11 billion on housing units, which are apartments, meaning that they cost $1.1 million to build, and he thought that this was worthy of celebration.
Oh
and
my God, dude, but that's why you need business people in politics, as opposed to just the politicians. Like, the career politicians are all such frauds. They really are, every single one of them. I could never, like, trust a word that they say. Like, it is absolutely unreal, bro.
These kind of bad financial moves are exactly what brought Chicago to this place. Rather than, you know, making it easier for private developers to build so that the high rents can be met with increased supply, he decided to do a government job of it, spent way too much money, again, $1.1 million for a studio apartment. That's absolutely insane. And then they wonder why they're broke. And then they propose absurd things like employment payroll taxes, a head count tax, and of course, trying to copy New York's driving tax. However, this doesn't even have the
more taxes. That'll definitely make people's life happy. Like, you realize these people are literally pandering to the fucking worst, like not the worst, but the lowest common denominator. Like, it's absolutely crazy.
Pretense of,
oh my God, dude, this is fucking insane. There was a minute where they tried to make a push for people who receive supplementary income and food assistance to have a drug test, and Democrats cried racism. There's no way that's real! Oh my God, what do we do? What are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Of we're trying to lower congestion. This is all about extracting revenue. So let me get this straight. Let's all try to figure this out. Brandon Johnson is in favor of a massive minimum wage increase. He says you should be basically arrested if you try to pay somebody below X amount, because that would be absolutely terrible. He also wants to tax you for having people on payroll, the headcount tax, but also in addition to that, he wants to charge drivers a fee for showing up to the downtown area of Chicago and patronizing your business businesses, and he doesn't think that this is going to cause massive conflicts in the community and ultimately end up driving down tax revenue.
No shit,
insane, ridiculous, but what do you expect from an idiotic socialist who's so concerned about the Confederacy being under every rock? Remember, he
Bro, dude, we do not need politicians to sit there and yell and yammer and jammer about identity politics, dude.
Said when people were talking about his education spending that these were points brought up during the Confederacy.
No, wait, he wasn't. I thought that was like an analogy. No, this isn't real.
All the past mistakes that have left our students behind, we're not doing that. And then the so-called exports, the so-called fiscally responsible stewards are making the same argument when our people wanted to be liberated and emancipated in this country. The argument was, you can't free black people because it would be too expensive. They said that it would be fiscally irresponsible for this country to liberate black people. And now you have detractors making the same argument of the Confederacy when it comes to public education in this system.
Absolutely.
I'm in shock. How does he?
Insane, ridiculous, a completely unserious candidate. And of course, there is a reason why Brandon Johnson is sitting at like an 8% approval rating.
See, how does someone with an 8% approval rating stay as the mayor? Okay, like, dude, how does someone with an 8% approval rating stay as the mayor of Chicago? Like, how does this happen?
I have not made a formal presentation yet, but I can assure you one thing, though. I am committed to making sure that the ultra-rich and those with means put more skin in the game. That is the pathway forward.
So look.
Yeah, let's just make enemies of all the people that are actually working. Yeah, great strategy, dude. Great strategy. Unreal.
Look, we get this rhetoric about the ultra-rich having to pay more in taxes. They gotta have...
Dude, I have someone in my chat right now that says, why is Nux talking about this? You are distracting from the Epstein files. Am I not allowed to talk about anything else, okay? Like, literally keep crying, brother. Oh my lord.
Some skin in the game, as if we all haven't seen the charts on who's paying the majority of the taxes anywhere in this country, but especially in these major cities. And of course, that is the wealthy people. And the thing is, wealthy people also have mobility. So these people can move out to the suburbs if they still want to be near Chicago. These people can also move to the Sun Belt, to places that won't tax them, that won't punish them. So yeah, Brandon Johnson is
literally every successful businessman is moving out of these countries, these states. Like, you don't understand. All the successful people moved out of LA. Joe Rogan moved out of LA. Ben Shapiro moved out of LA. Everyone moved out of LA. Everyone's now moving out of New York. People are leaving Chicago. All the successful people that are working are leaving the states that are literally taking shits all over the people that are working. You realize that if someone is a billionaire, let's say, they're employing thousands of people. Literally thousands of people. Like, what are we doing? They leave, all those jobs leave too. They are literally turning their cities into shitholes by appeasing the people that need to literally, survive, right? So say, hey guys, I'm telling you, man, this is the strat. This is the strat. We're promising free shit, guys. This is what we're doing. We're promising free shit. Hey, look at all this free shit that we're promising, guys. Vote for us. And they get the votes from all the people that expect the free shit, and they just literally completely shit all over the actual people that work. Unbelievable. And this is why socialism never works. This is why California has failed.
Essentially committed to killing the goose that lays the golden egg. True. And pretending like this is good policy. And it just goes to show you that these woke progressives will commit to the destruction of society, all in the name of getting those evil riches, and it just won't work. It never works, but they still will not change course absolutely at any point ever.
Already, the Chicagoland Chamber of Commerce has called some administration ideas a step backwards for economic growth.
These things are bad for business. They're bad for jobs.
Yeah, no shit.
They're a direct disincentive for employers to hire people in Chicago.
Now look, everything this guy said is true. Again, if you tax people for hiring people, you're going to get less hiring,
yeah, no
and
shit.
That is just logical. And
bro's literally, it's crazy. Dude's like, yo, how about we ruin our country? All right, we ruin our state, we ruin our city. All right, we make sure that we have less jobs, but the retards will vote for us. Because we're promising them free stuff.
And sensible, but of course, logic and sense have never entered into the equation for the economic flat earthers that we call socialists.
Another challenge. Johnson says the Chicago public schools are owed more than $1 billion in funding from the state of Illinois.
It's $1.6 billion. These aren't my numbers. These are the state's numbers. Who's hurting ultimately here?
This I absolutely...
He's so retarded. It's not my fault that all of my policies are making our people poor and broke and sad. It's not my fault at all. See, the thing is, Trump is just, like, what did he say? What did he say? I just have to, what would he say?
So I would just say it like this, that the president has always been intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men.
Yeah, so obviously Trump is just intimidated by the intellectual prowess of black men.
Love because Brandon Johnson has run all kinds of schemes in order to funnel money into the Chicago public school system, into the teachers union coffers, which by the way, he happens to be a member. Rather than resign from his position, he just went on leave when he became the mayor of the city of Chicago, and he still is falling short because the city council just can't deal with this crazy spending. They can't actually handle what Brandon Johnson is proposing. But of course, Brandon Johnson is talking about how his new bill, his new idea is going to be pro-business, pro-growth, pro-worker,
They just say things. Like, there is absolute no thought behind it. It's like, yo, we decided that we are going to take money from rich people, give it to poor people. It'll literally make everything better. It'll be growth. It'll have growth, guys. Like a tumor grows, so will our economy. Jobs will grow, tumors will grow. It'll be so good. So much growth is going to happen.
Everything, and it's gonna basically sprinkle magic pixie dust over the situation and solve all of the problems.
Johnson says whatever is in the package he intends to present to the city council will be pro-business, pro-growth, and pro-worker. He is expected to make his budget address in October, but in previous years, he has pushed that back a little bit.
Okay. Does anybody believe him? Does anyone believe that Brandon Johnson is going to propose a series of tax increases that are going to be pro-everyone and not have any downsides and not...
This is literally, it's like, how do you hear this? It's like, guys, listen, we are going to increase taxes, but it's going to be better for everyone. There's no way anyone falls for this. There's no way anyone falls for this, guys. Listen. So we're going to be increasing taxes. Whoa. But it'll be good for everyone, actually. Yeah.
Not have any trade-offs. I mean, again, to give you an idea of how weak and...
So hear me out. You give me money, and it's better for everyone. Problem solved.
Terrible Brandon Johnson is, you have the mayor of Minneapolis, again, the guy who cried at George Floyd's funeral, this weaker looking version of Justin Trudeau. He's actually seeing a renaissance in
gayer Justin Trudeau out here trying his best to make a name for himself.
His support a little bit, and the reason why is because despite the fact that he's an absolutely cowardly, weak individual and should never be forgiven for his piss poor performance during the whole George Floyd riots fiasco, this guy actually passed a zoning reform package that made it easier to build, and guess what? Rents started stabilizing in Minneapolis, and building ended up having a boom over there. So all of the crappy things that he's done on the woke side didn't stop that broken clock from being right once a day. But Brandon Johnson has no such policy. There is nothing redeemable about this individual, and this is because
this guy's retarded. This dude is like an 85 IQ max level retard. He just goes out there and he promises shit to get and like he just says things that have absolutely nothing behind them. Right? We'll increase taxes in a way that'll be good for everybody. What are you fucking talking about? Like, what do you mean? Who is falling for this shit? Right? We're just going to give free money to all the people and it definitely won't cause the rich people to leave? Like, come on, dude. What are we saying?
He always likes to play the race card whenever he's in trouble.
Okay, so we're in still the discussion phase, the ideas phase. When does Chicago have to have a budget and have it done?
The absolute deadline is December. That's when they start worrying about the bond ratings and all of that kind of thing. So right now there's a lot of flexibility here. Once he makes that address, there'll of course be city council debate. There'll have to be an approval process.
Look, Brandon Johnson is not going to propose anything good. He's saying he's in the idea phase and whatnot, but in reality, go get them Richie Riches is not an idea at all whatsoever.
It is an idea. It's just not sustainable at all. It's why countries collapse. Socialism never works because, ultimately you can't just say we'll make it, untenable to actually make a living. Like, you can never incentivize someone to work if they're not going to get anything for their work, right? They'll just leave. They'll just go to another state. They'll go to Florida or Texas. Like, it's insane.
been the policy of the Democratic Party for decades in Chicago, and that's what got them into this mess. The best thing that residents of the city of Chicago can do to actually help save their city is when you have the next primary, when you have the next mayoral race, you make sure that Brendan Johnson is a one-term. Throw him out on his ass, and that is the first step to recovery. Although what we saw they did after Lori Lightfoot was put in Brendan Johnson, so make no mistake about it, the residents of the city of Chicago are capable of finding a worse candidate, even if it seems unimaginable that there's a worse person to be the mayor in the city of Chicago. I want to know what you guys think.
I always have faith in the retards to make an even worse decision. All right, never discount the retards. All right, they'll always find a way.
About all this down in
and I can't believe when they actually do vote him out, eventually he's gonna get voted out. When that does happen, I'm putting all my money on black. Sounded so wrong, but he's gonna claim racism. It's the internalized white racism that's been passed down the Armstrong lines for generations. That is exactly why people voted him out.
Comments below. As per usual, if you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Brendan Johnson admitting that he bankrupted the city of Chicago.
Crazy that he admitted it. Holy shit.
Till next time.
Yeah, it's crazy that he straight up admits it. He's like, yeah, we ruined the fucking city. Anyway, next time it'll be better because we're gonna do more taxes and everyone's gonna love it. Yeah, anyway, definitely subscribe, obviously. Let's up those numbers. I like making fun of retards. I think they deserve it, which is why, obviously, we do it here. And I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Bye. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.